And now is a time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it. And we've got to unite the rest of the free world in doing it. So anyway, I'm going to.
I love how Biden is talking about the new world order in front of a bunch of people and then going like, so anyways. That's right, guys. Biden becomes yet another US president in recent history to talk about this whole nefarious new world order. And of course, the trusted media was quick to jump on this story and call anyone commenting on it a so-called conspiracy theorist. But actually, as we're going to take a look at in today's video, this isn't that much of a conspiracy theory anymore. There really are powerful people in positions that want to push the world towards a new world order. And not just people either. All of these international organizations, like WHO and the WTO, they're very official in what they want to do. And we'll take a look at all of that coming right up. But before we do, let's take a look at what Biden said outside of the clip I showed you in the beginning of the video. Right here, take a look at this. Joe Biden's New World Order comment jumped on by conspiracy theorists. Claims about the existence and implementation of a new world order have spread online after President Joe Biden used the phrase in a speech. Several conservatives and conspiracy theorists, including followers of the radical QAnon movement, quickly jumped on Biden using the words while speaking at a business roundtable on Monday. So just right off the bat, I love how the media has completely shifted alignment over the last 5 years. And instead of actually doing their job, holding the powerful, accountable politicians, holding them accountable for what they say and do, now they're going after so-called conspiracy theorists and conservatives who literally just are like individual people who has no power in comparison to all of these politicians. So well done, media. Instead of doing your job, you're just going after regular people. Well done. Look at this, what Biden said. As one of the top military people said to me in a secure meeting, by the way, I think if you're the president, if you find yourself saying a top military person said this to me in a secure meeting, maybe you should stop yourself right there. But that's one of the few beauties about Biden. I think sometimes he just says stuff off the bat, which you can't really control if you're his spin doctor. So he said basically, as one of the top military people said to me in a secure meeting the other day, 60 million people died between 1900 and 1946, basically the two world wars. And since then, we've established a liberal world order, and that hadn't happened in a long while. A new liberal world order. By the way, I find it funny that every time a president comes out in front of people and says something like this, the media is very quick to just come in and ensure everyone that nothing like this exists, even though Biden is going like, yeah, we've been trying to do this for the last 75 years. So you might be surprised of how many of these huge international organizations are already on board with this new world order. To be fair to the people pushing for this, they do call it the new liberal world order. They say they have the best of intentions. They want freedom and democracy for all of the world. So that sounds beautiful, but all of the policies that they're pushing are leading us towards one global centralized government. The Council on Foreign Relations has this website dedicated to explaining exactly what they mean with a new liberal world order. And in case you guys don't know, the CFR is this US think tank that influences politics in all kinds of ways, and they're very effective, very influential. So it's worth paying attention to what they're saying. They're behind a lot of these international organizations with funding and ideas as well. But take a look at what that video says right here on YouTube. It's the same video from the other website, just on YouTube. Take a look at this.
It is called the liberal world order. It is a liberal system in the sense that it operates on rules that are, in theory, applied to each country equally, and that it encourages each country to be democratic and to open its economy to the rest of the world. It is a global system in that every country around the world is encouraged to join and follow those rules, even if some do not. And it is a where
everyone is encouraged to follow the rules. I wonder I wonder how they're going to do that. They actually explain a little more about how they're going to do all of this right here. It says the world leaders created a series of international organizations and agreements to promote global cooperation on issues including security, trade, health, and monetary policy. By the way, that's everything. That's, if you think about it, that's like security, trade, health, and monetary policies. It's pretty much every aspect of what a government is supposed to kind of help with or take care of, if you think about it. So it's this isn't just like a one small area they want to change. They want to create a global system where everything is handled and centralized in a certain place. The United States has championed this system known as the liberal world order for the past 75 years. During this time, the world has enjoyed unprecedented peace and prosperity. Unprecedented peace, unless, of course, in the world you include the Middle East for the last, I don't know, like a century, or at least the last 25 years, with the US carpet bombing the whole area as well, or if you count the Vietnam War. But I guess unprecedented peace and all of that sounds good at the very least. The CFR heavily influences all of these international organizations, which is why you often see the same people working for all of these organizations. That's why they mention also the new liberal order and like what is the World Trade Organization, what is the WHO, and so on. So they basically like count them all in the same thing. And imagine my surprise when I found out that 136 countries already has agreed to a global minimum tax system enforced by the OECD, I think are the initials, OECD. So apparently already 136 countries, which you might not know this, have agreed for a global minimum tax rate. So just to be fair, this is only about corporate taxes. And you could say that, listen, I don't think everything about this is wrong and bad. I think a global corporate tax system might make sure that, you know, these corporations don't hide away in small nations and have tax havens. I think technically this could help. But we're talking about an organization that's trying to run this. We're talking about think tanks and organizations. We're not talking about a democratically elected government of some sort. We're talking about people pushing this behind the scenes, and it's working. 136 countries are now joining and have signed a deal aimed at ensuring the companies pay a minimum tax rate of 15%. And by the way, this isn't just like small countries all getting together to make a new trade agreement or something like that. This is accounting for 90% of the global economy. This is most of the major countries, probably the country you're watching this video from as well. And the problem is here that the OECD, this is the first on the long list of itinerary that they have. This is the first item where they want to create a system that is enforced by them, and they'll have someone enforcing all of these laws that they're trying to put in place worldwide. By the way, this is a global system. This is the first time that we're really seeing a global system being implemented and signed on by so many countries all at once, which you, by the way, you didn't vote for. This is something that they just kind of agreed to because they thought it was a good idea. But this is the first of many things. And if you go down the list, you'll begin to find that it will, right now it's just corporate tax rates, right? But as time goes on, it'll begin to influence almost all aspects of not only corporate life, but private life as well. As they just talked about, they have this idea that they want to take care of not only this, but all aspects of life, security, trade, health, and monetary policies. We're talking about a global government. Look, I like a good conspiracy just as much as anyone else, but this is no longer a conspiracy, no matter how many times the media says it is. This is actually happening. It's meticulously planned out and executed by these huge organizations, and they claim that they love democracy, that they value freedom, but they themselves are run by just a few people at the very top, like a CEO. They're not democratic in nature. As I said, I don't think necessarily that every single element of all of this is necessarily bad in nature, but it is globalism pushing for a new world order. As someone talking about the EU often on this channel, I have witnessed lately how the EU, how basically these international organizations, the EU and NATO, how they're quickly growing during these times. Ursula von der Leyen, the head of the EU Commission, said just the other day how she was happy that during this time European security and defense has evolved more in the last 6 days than in the last decades. And she's right, emergency powers do lead to faster change, but you're not supposed to use emergency powers to change society and thereby the will of the people. That's not how it's supposed to be done, but how it's supposed to be done doesn't matter because we are moving towards their new liberal world order, whether you and I like it or not.